Part 3, The Empress. Inside the palace, the floors, walls, and steep ceiling are all clean-cut, polished stone. A servant with a blue feathered cap comes sweeping up to us. With a deep bow, they pass me and dash to Portia's side. Chamberlain, how are we doing on time? Terribly late. The 5th course is over. Her ladyship is in a most unhappy state. Oh, shoot. Portia chews her lip and hands the servant her fruit basket. Have the familiar fetch a bottle of the golden goose, okay. The servant departs at a hasty clip, disappearing behind a panel in the wall which slides seamlessly shut. Too bad. I'll escort you directly to the dining room. Dining room? Was I to dine with the Countess? What? Don't tell me you thought we wouldn't feed you. I hasten to keep up with her purposeful strides. Soon we're standing before a fine mahogany door. Portia opens the door, leading me inside. Okay, rich scents linger in the air, unfamiliar and tantalizing. Ah, Bree, welcome to the palace. Have a seat. You're too late for dinner, I'm afraid. She brings her glass to her lips and drinks deeply. Portia leads me to my seat. Another servant removes what might have been my plate. I was beginning to think you'd forgotten my invitation, but perhaps you're simply unaccustomed to travel. You look exhausted. Why, I can see your cheeks gleaming from here. The Countess downs her glass, and Portia appears at her side with a bottle enrobed in shimmering foil. Ah, Portia, how thoughtful of you. My pleasure, milady. Portia fills both of our glasses, and the Countess takes a sip of hers. A golden goose, a marvelous choice, Portia. I reach for my own glass to cover the awkward moment, and stop, transfixed by the strange painting before me. The scene is that of a meal shared among a host of figures with the heads of beasts. The table is laden with small animals provided by a central character with the head of a goat. Rays of gold glitter around its head, and its red eyes are strikingly lifelike. Do you like it? The painting? Yeah. Hopefully this isn't going on for too long. I don't know how long this is. The Countess raises her shapely brows, eyes flashing at me over the rim of her glass. Fascinating. Perhaps you share my husband's unusual tastes. Nadia's husband, Count Lucio, rather the late Count Lucio. He went to join Overwatch. He's the goat in the middle, of course, ever the provider. Lucio has the populace eating out of the palm of his hand, much like the painting, I suppose. Whatever he offered, the people gobbled it up. They worshipped him. My husband was particularly lovely for his yearly masquerade. She sets down her glass, folding her hands and resting her chin upon them. Did you ever attend? The whole city came alive for the masquerade. Reverently took hold of hearts young and old. All in celebration of Lucio's birthday. And what a celebration when he opened the palace gates to all. Excuse me, I'm still sick, so yeah. The Countess sighs, watching the wine swirl in her glass. Such a fond memory for many, and now it's shrouded in sorrow. A terrible shock to the guests to find their host murdered so violently at the last masquerade. Jesus. The servants lower their eyes. I too avert my gaze back to the painting. My poor husband, burned alive in his own bed, and at the celebration of his birthday. What did he do to invite such hatred? After such a shocking scene, guests to the palace have been scarce. I look away from the portrait just in time to meet the Countess's keen gaze. But now that I'm here, she says it with such gravity, such confidence. Countess, what does any of this have to do with me? Bree, the masquerade is precisely why I called you here. This year I intend to hold the masquerade once more. I stare at her. So does every servant in the room. Why? The festivities in Lucio's honor will be more fantastical than ever. There is but one loose end in need of tying. Count Lucio's murderer still roams free to this day. Dr. Julian Dvorak, my husband's former physician. I sit very still, suddenly cold all over. Dr. Julian Dvorak, now I remember the name on the wanted posters. Now I know exactly who broke into my shop. Dr. Dvorak confessed to the crime when we caught him. All that is left is his sentence. Execution by hanging. There's a terrible crash. Portia's face is stricken with horror. At her feet, the broken remnants of the golden goose are seeping into the floor. Portia? Forgive me, my lady. Slippery hands. You are forgiven. Two servants rushed to her aid, sweeping away the shattered mess with wind sprint speed. This is where you come in, Bree. Dr. Dvorak has been very elusive. But you have quite the reputation. Rumor has it that you have surpassed even your master Azra. I myself see the future in dreams, whether I like it or not. And this is how I know that you are the one who will find Dr. Dvorak. And if we find him? The Countess sets down her glass. When we find him, we will bring him before the people so that all may see his long-awaited punishment. And so, to commence the festivities, the doctor will die on the gallows for his terrible crime. The Countess rises. On instinct, I rise as well. Portia. Yes, m'lady? Show Bree to the guest quarters. I imagine there's much to ponder before the night is out. Right away, m'lady. Portia pulls me to my feet and with a humble bow whisks me to the doorway. Portia is quiet as she ushers me down the hall towards my room. After a few turns, we pass a wide staircase veiled in shadow. A draft rushes down from the floor above, prickling my skin. It's cold and it smells of ash. Curled up on the bottom step are two large, lanky dogs. Fathomless eyes fix upon me and they rise slowly without a sound. Though they look as though they could strike at any moment, I sense no ill intent. I hold out my hand and they approach to sniff it. Their huffling breaths tickle my skin and their tails start slowly wagging. Oh, this is bizarre. They never take kindly to strangers. It's just how they were trained, but I'd never seen them act like this. Slim snouts brush against my sides as the dogs investigate me further. Satisfied, they draw back, looking at me expectantly. I'll pet them. On a whim, I reach out to run my hand over the smaller one's silky coat. I wouldn't do that if I were you. The dog rears back. From my hand or from Portia's panicked tone, I'm not sure. Sorry, they're a little unpredictable. They seem to like you, but I'd rather you keep that hand. The hounds trot dutifully back to their spot. They nearly blend into the marble. Oh, no wonder they're like this. They haven't had their chamomile cakes. Isn't that a tea? That's a tea. She looks nervously from me to the dude dog still with the sash juice. I can't speak. I'm still, like... Julian! He got the death card. Like, But that doesn't mean death. That means new beginnings. Like, what? Cards. Wait here, Bree. It's probably best to keep your distance from them. I'll be right back with those cakes. Portia swoops through a sliding panel in the wall. I'm left alone in the hallway with the dogs. I feel the bigger one sniff my side insistently. When I look down, it simply pulls back and stares. The smaller one's sniffing my other side, huffing samples of my scent. I whirl around, and it sits back on its haunches, watching me innocently. Cheeky. As I look into one's sanguine eye, I can't speak. An unsettling sensation ripples through my body like a wave of fever. A guest? I step back, gaze darting up and down the corridor. The voice was coming from the top of the stairs. I can only see so far into the hollow gloom. But there's no one there. I nearly jump when I feel yanking at my garments. The dogs. Their teeth are buried in my clothes, unrelenting as they drag me onto the stairs. I trip up the first few and their tails start wagging. Hey! I try to wrench myself free, but the two dogs tug stubbornly. The dogs only let me go at the top of the stairs. The floor and walls are frigid stone, and the air smells of ash. My head is spinning, and I hardly feel the chill in the air. Though my heart is hammering, I summon a weak glimmer of light in my palm. I look around for the dogs, but they're nowhere to be seen. There's a door ahead, partway open. Inside is a deeper darkness swallowing the feeble rays of light. Hey everyone, Postbury here. There's some technical difficulties and my camera died, so you're stuck with me reading the story from this point out. Okay, so we're just waiting for... I'm just watching this back now, so excuse me. Okay, the magic in my palm shrinks to a fluttering glow when I step through the doorway. Coming from the hall, it's warm inside. The thick air has a strong, peppery taste. A heavily canopied bed stretches midway across the room. I pass an extravagant suit of armor, a marble writing desk with a white peacock feathered pen, all blanketed in ash. My light flickers over a portrait on the wall, twice my height. My dim light stretches up the canvas. Though it's hard to see, I have no doubt of the painting's subject. Count Lucio. He looks younger than I expected, or the portrait is old. Or perhaps the artist was catering to his vanity. The red of his coat is the cardinal hue from the painting in the dining room. The golden arm, a marvel of alchemetal art. The fur hanging from his haughty shoulders looks impossibly fine, and... Go on. Touch it. A miasma of thick, scorching air pushes my hand towards the portrait. But I feel nothing but ash and canvas. There is snickering inside my head as a haze settles over my mind. Nothing like the real thing, seeing, unable to feel. Such sweet torture. Warmth like an ember radiates at the back of my neck. The magic in my palm reacts, its glow stretching past my fingers and down my wrists. Ah! The strange sensations subside, and the voice grows fainter, even wistful. There, in your energy. Oh, it's him. Could you be? The haze vanishes from my mind. I reel back from the portrait. Something soft meets the back of my knees, and I fall through folds of dusty velvet into the massive bed. Great plumes of ash billow around me when my back hits the bed covers. This is Count Lucio's bed, right when he was murdered, incinerated. Then this fine ash in my eyes, in my nose, and my mouth, all over me, is what's left of him. I clap a hand over my mouth, smothering a scream as I struggle to stand. Going so soon? You're no fun. That voice, it echoes from every corner of the room, and from within my mind. Who are you? The temperature drops, my hurried breaths turning into fine mist. I hear shifting in the fine ash, and a weak cry unlike anything a human would make. Nobody. Nobody at all. An unseen breeze moves past me, tickling the trim of my canopy, towards the portrait. Now, this specimen of a man, he was somebody. The voice trails off, the room feels normal once again. I scramble to my feet and make a break for the door. Breaking into a run, I continue down the hall, searching the vague darkness for any way out. The portraits on the walls will watch me run with cold, aristocratic stares. Come back. Come back. Against all good sense, I stop and turn around. I only see it for a moment, a silhouette stark against a wall of high windows frosted with smoke. Claws, horns, and hooves like onyx. The white face of a goat, with red eyes fixed gleefully on me. I blink, and it's gone. I hear clamoring off to the side, the creak of a door, and then silence. By the time I stumble down the stairs, disoriented, Portia is looking around corners for me. There you are! She stares at the fine, powdery ash coating me from head to toe. What? Why are you covered in ash? What did those naughty dogs do? She produces a plain white handkerchief and hands it to me. All I can muster is a dazed nod of thanks as I dust myself off. My mind feels fogged, struggling to make sense of the shadows I saw, the whispers I heard. Portia takes me gently by the elbow, helping me brush off the last of the ash. I'm just gonna leave these cakes right here. Let's get you to bed. I follow at Portia's heels until we arrive at our destination. Thankfully, it isn't much further. She swings open the door with a sweeping gesture. These will be your quarters, Bree. You can put your things wherever you like. Breakfast is at sunrise. I'll wake you. My fatigue must be showing. I let my bag fall to the floor. Eyeing the smooth linens, I shudder with exhaustion. You look ready to drop. I'll leave you be. Sleep well. Her soft voice trails off as she gently slides the door shut. At once, I burrow in the luxurious sheets. It feels as though I'm weightless. Heart thumping to the rhythm of Portia's steady, ever-distant footfalls, I sink into unconsciousness. And that's the end. Sorry the camera died. I'm recording this like a week or so later. I really enjoyed this though. It was really fun. I hope to play it again. With part 4, The Emperor. But yeah, I'm just going through editing now and the camera died, so that messed up. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it anyway, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.